Wildemar, California. Wildemar is a city in Riverside County, California, United States. It was incorporated on July 1, 2008. The city is located in a fast-growing area. As of the 2010 census, the population of Wildemar was 32,176, an increase from 14,064 at the 2000 census, when the community was still an unincorporated census-designated place. History. In the summer of 1881, looking down from the peak of Mt. Baldy, Franklin Heald of Pasadena first noticed Lake Elsinore, then known as La Laguna. A few months later, in October, Frank Kimball of San Diego signed an agreement with the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad to build a rail line past the lake from San Diego to Barstow, then known as Waterman. The next winter, Heald traveled by buggy to see La Laguna, Lake Elsinore. At the same time work commenced on the rail line from San Diego skirting the lakeshore. The new line was to be known as the California Southern Railroad. Rails and spikes were brought from Antwerp, Belgium, and locomotives came from the eastern seaboard. The line was completed as far as Colton on August 14, 1882. The new train service was destined to bring development to the Wildemar area, then known as southern portion of the Rancho La Laguna. Heald found that the Rancho La Laguna could be purchased, with the exception of some 500 acres, 2.0 square kilometers, owned by the Machado family, from the London and San Francisco Bank for $24,000. On July 3, 1883, Heald paid $1,000 as a down payment on the area. He then brought in William Collier and Donald Graham as partners. On September 24 of that year, the three men purchased the 12,832 acres, 51.93 square kilometers, of Rancho La Laguna with an additional payment of $7,000 advanced by William Collier. The remaining debt was paid off shortly thereafter. The railroad placed a boxcar, known as Car B, off to the northwest side of the main line near what is now Clinton Keith Road on January 1, 1884. For a number of years this served as the railroad depot for the area that was to become Wildemar. Heavy rains in the winter of 1884 left as much as 60 inches, 1,500 millimeters, washing out the railroad tracks below Temecula as well as along the San Jacinto River and Railroad Canyon near the shore of Lake Elsinore. Flood damage broke the California Southern Railroad financially. The Santa Fe Railroad came to the rescue. Santa Fe took over the rail line and rebuilt it by the beginning of 1885. The rail line through Wildemar became part of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. In January 1885, Collier, Graham, and Heald made a map of blocks K, L, and M of the Elsinore area, recording the maps with San Diego County in October of that year. In February 1885, Collier and Graham purchased Franklin Heald's one-third interest in the 2,600 acres, 11 square kilometers, of unsold land southeast of Corydon Road. Heald took full interest in the unsold land to the northwest of the Corydon Road line. Collier and Graham made a map of the Wildemar town site in December 1885, recording it with San Diego County on November 20, 1886. The name Wildemar was derived by combining the names of the new town's founders, Will for William Collier, Do for Donald Graham, and Mar for Margaret Collier Graham, wife of Donald Graham and sister of William Collier. In 1886 a new school was built, along with a post office and railroad depot. By 1887, Wildemar could boast a large hotel, livery stable, blacksmith shop, numerous stores, a lumber yard, and a park. A Methodist Episcopalian church was built in 1888 across from the new school just northwest of Central Avenue. In October 1887, Collier and Graham made a map of the Santa Rosa addition to Wildemar, an addition of about 1,500 acres, 6.1 square kilometers, purchased from Parker Deere, owner of the Rancho Santa Rosa, who was attempting to develop a town he called Linda Rosa further south on the rail line. This new map was recorded February 10, 1892, in the San Diego County records. By the start of the 20th century, Wildemar even had its own newspaper, the Transcript. The railroad, however, continued to be plagued by washouts, and within a few years, the rail connections south from Temecula to San Diego were abandoned. With fewer trains, Wildemar's development slowed. Then, in 1935, rail service to Wildemar was abandoned and the rails were pulled up back to Pinacate. Wildemar was almost a forgotten community. Then, in 1985, the Temecula Valley Freeway, I-15, was completed, bringing with it a new wave of interest in the area. Once again, Wildemar had begun to grow and experience new prosperity. The citizens of Wildemar and Cedco Hills voted on February 5, 2008, to incorporate. Wildemar became the 25th city in Riverside County on July 1, 2008. Geography. Wildemar is located at 33°3627 and 117°1537 W/33.60750° and 117.26028° W/33.60750, -117.26028, 33.60740, -117.260193. According to the United States Census Bureau, the community has a total area of 23.7 square miles, 61 square kilometers, all of it land. Demographics. 2010. The 2010 United States Census reported that Wildemar had a population of 32,176. The population density was 1,358.3 people per square mile, 524.5/km2. The racial makeup of Wildemar was 22,372, 69.5%. White, 53.6%. Non-Hispanic white, 1,065, 3.3%. African American, 376, 1.2%. Native American, 1,454, 4.5%. Asian, 69, 0.2%. Pacific Islander, 5,124, 15.9%, from other races, and 1,716, 5.3%, from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 11,363 persons, 35.3%. The census reported that 32,134 people, 99.9% of the population, lived in households, 38.0% lived in non-institutionalized group quarters, and 4.0% were institutionalized. There were 9,992 households, out of which 4,399, 44.0%, had children under the age of 18 living in them, 5,982, 59.9%, were opposite-sex married couples living together, 1,178, 11.8%, had a female householder with no husband present, 645, 6.5%, had a male householder with no wife present. There were 604, 6.0%, unmarried opposite-sex partnerships, and 59, 0.6%, same-sex married couples or partnerships. 1,600 households, 16.0%, were made up of individuals, and 752, 7.5%, had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 3.22. There were 7,805 families, 78.1% of all households. The average family size was 3.58. The population was spread out with 8,966 people, 27.9%, under the age of 18, 3,256 people, 10.1%, aged 18 to 24, 8,346 people, 25.9%, aged 25 to 44, 8,194 people, 25.5%, aged 45 to 64, and 3,414 people, 10.6%, who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 34.6 years. For every 100 females, there were 97.6 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 95.9 males. There were 10,806 housing units at an average density of 456.2 per square mile, 176.1/km2, of which 7,329, 73.3%, were owner-occupied, and 2,663, 26.7%, were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 2.7%, the rental vacancy rate was 5.1%. 23,369 people, 72.6% of the population, lived in owner-occupied housing units, and 8,765 people, 27.2%, lived in rental housing units. According to the 2010 United States Census, Wildemar had a median household income of $60,219, with 13.0% of the population living below the federal poverty line. 2000. As of the census of 2000, there were 14,064 people, 4,572 households, and 3,694 families residing in the community. The population density was 1,063.1 people per square mile, 410.4/km2. There were 4,772 housing units at an average density of 360.7 per square mile, 139.3/km2. The racial makeup of the community was 82.1% white, 1.8% African American, 0.9% Native American, 1.8% Asian, 0.3% Pacific Islander, 9.1% from other races, and 4.0% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 21.6% of the population. There were 4,572 households, out of which 40.3% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 67.4% were married couples living together, 9.4% had a female householder with no husband present, and 19.2% were non-families. 14.6% of all households were made up of individuals, and 7.3% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 3.06 and the average family size was 3.38. The population is spread out, with 30.2% under the age of 18, 6.8% from 18 to 24, 28.7% from 25 to 44, 20.6% from 45 to 64, and 13.8% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 36 years. For every 100 females, there were 98.2 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 94.8 males. The median income for a household in the community was $49,081, and the median income for a family was $51,964. Males had a median income of $42,549 versus $30,262 for females. The per capita income for the community was $20,190. About 6.3% of families and 8.2% of the population were below the poverty line, including 10.3% of those under age 18 and 2.8% of those age 65 or over. Politics. In the California State Senate, Wildemar is in the 28th District. In the California State Assembly, it is in the 67th Assembly District, represented by Republican Melissa Melendez. In the United States House of Representatives, Wildemar is in California's 42nd Congressional District, represented by Republican Ken Calvert. Services. Hospitals. Inland Valley Medical Center, a Southwest healthcare system facility, is a general acute care hospital in Wildemar with basic emergency services and a Level 2 trauma center. Cemetery. The Wildemar Cemetery District maintains a cemetery in the town. In 2011, the city of Wildemar proposed to take over management of the cemetery district and accomplished the takeover in November of that year. Library. The Wildemar Library is one of 35 branches in the Riverside County library system. The library opened in 2001 and was originally called the Mission Trail Library. In 2014, the County Board of Supervisors voted to change the name to the Wildemar Library. Transportation. Riverside Transit Agency provides local bus service to Wildemar. Public safety. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department's Lake Elsinore Valley Regional Station contracts police services for the city. The City of Wildemar contracts for fire and paramedic services with the Riverside County Fire Department through a cooperative agreement with CAL FIRE. Education. Public schools in Wildemar are part of the Lake Elsinore Unified School District. Elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, higher education. There are plans for a new MT San Jacinto College, MSJC, campus in Wildemar, located on Clinton Keith Road between Salada del Sol and Elizabeth Lane. Flora. Wildemar has a variety of native plants. Hills are covered with coastal sage scrub and chaparral plant communities, along with the California poppy. California sycamore grow along riverbeds, providing shade for ferns and mosses.